Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Total Hockey Now here on the Total Hockey Now YouTube channel. My D partner for today is at Fuzzy Chris 91, at Ant Rivera 86. World Baseball Classic in the books. Bet season right around the corner. On a little vacay right now. Much deserved downtime. He'll be back with us in a couple of weeks just before the Stanley Cup playoffs, but we're here to get you through the next few Thursdays. Fantasy hockey playoffs as well. Some leagues have already started. Other leagues, this is your last week of the regular season, so here to help you with that as well. And, of course, we're going to have plenty of picks coming up later, 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday slate of NHL games. Chris, how are we doing today?
Listen, it's another fantastic week of hockey. One step closer to the end of the season, which means the best time for hockey is coming up, the Stanley Cup playoffs. And according to Gary, we're going to, the best first round, ever. Not that the finals or anything matters, but at least we'll have the best first rounds we can get.
Right, because when you have 8 series going on, that's where you want to increase your odds of having a good series, because you won't have odds of a good one just naturally. No. You don't want to increase those odds later on when you have 4 rounds, 2 rounds. No. Why would you?
You want the second best and third best team in the league to face off right at the beginning. And in the first round, that's where you want to captivate them. The rounds after that, I mean, what are they even for? Who cares?
Yeah, it's all about that first round, and that's the thing. People talk about like, oh, it's about getting your name engraved on the cup. No, that's just a cherry on the sundae. It's about winning the first round. And once you get to the semifinals, I mean, who cares?
Just win the first round and go home.
That's why I've never understood why ticket prices go up as the later rounds of the playoffs go on. You'd think they would get cheaper. It's all about going to that first round. It's all about being there in the first round. See how that goes. I think maybe this is the year. If we'll see how the playoffs go this year. It'll still be good nonetheless. But before we get to picks and some fantasy hockey playoff editions of under 50%, we should talk about the Edmonton Oilers without Leon Draisaitl here. LTIR. Also, Austin Matthews, by the way, had successful surgery today, according to the Leafs. So he'll be out for 12 weeks. And, of course, as many people are joking online, like, oh, so he'll be back in time for what, the second round of the playoffs or third round? Yeah, doesn't really matter there. But just looking at Edmonton's playoff chances here, currently they're over-under total 92.5 is their point total. To miss the playoffs, they are plus 500. To make, they are minus 600. And if you think they still have a chance at the division, they are plus 360. Looking at the NHL standings right now, Edmonton currently has 77 points. So they need 20, They need to, they're over the total, 92.5. So they basically need, 15, 16 points there? Get over?
I mean, I don't think they're in danger of missing the playoffs just because of how absolutely terrible the Pacific Division has been. I mean, that whole division should just be relegated. Nobody makes the playoffs from that division. Everybody goes home, call it a day. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's that bad. One team should get in, though. One team. Division champ and everybody else, that's it.
Even the division champ, that division champ might have fewer points than the Avalanche, Stars, or Wild, and they're crowned division champs. What does that even mean anymore? It doesn't.
That's also an argument against the playoff format, because you're gonna have one of these bottom feeder playoff teams they're gonna get a pass to the conference final four, essentially.
Listen, I was told by Gary, as we talked about just 30 seconds ago, that this playoff format is fantastic. Everybody loves it, and it's great. But just for that, I don't think the Oilers are in any real danger. They still have the best player in the world, arguably. So I think that helps. And have the Oilers been a team that has lacked secondary scoring pretty much all of Connor McDavid's career there? So this is just business as usual for Connor. He's going to have to take this team, put it on his back, and will them into a playoff position. I mean, I would not be surprised if Connor goes off in these next few weeks. Just an absolute tear where he cannot be stopped, because that's what's going to be needed from him.
Yeah, I don't think they're, because of the division they're in, because you have 3 of these teams are guaranteed spots in the Pacific. I think McDavid can at least get them to the playoffs. Anaheim, Lucas Dostal's kind of been up and down. Team's been up and down lately. Vegas, we know their problems. Seattle and LA, we don't love. The Sharks are young and on the rise, but they're definitely susceptible with a not so great blue line at times. We'll put it politely. We'll talk a little bit more about them against the Buffalo Sabres tonight. So I don't think their playoff spots in jeopardy. Maybe they. I don't think they're in the mix for the division anymore. I think that hurts them. So now you're looking at basically an Anaheim, Vegas 2-horse race, because I don't see Seattle, LA, or San Jose climbing. But you never know. Maybe LA gets hot. I doubt it. Yeah, I think Edmonton's probably likely going to be the third place team in this division. I don't, we've said this before. It's Seattle, LA, and San Jose. Those are your three teams for that last wild card spot because Utah's got one. So it's who emerges from those three. I think Edmonton's still safe, but if they go on an extended slump, they're only 6 points ahead of Seattle and LA right now, and 7 against the Sharks. And they play the Sharks, I know, of at least one more time for the end of the regular season. So that'll be a big head-to-head as well. So yeah, Edmonton's still going playoffs, but do we think they can even in a week, even with the format, can they get out of the first round with just Connor McDavid if they're playing a Vegas and Anaheim? Or
I mean, it would be tough. I think they'd have better shot against Anaheim, just because Anaheim is still they're still a young team. Their blue line is questionable still. The goaltending has been all over the place. We know how good they are on the road. At home, Anaheim, but then they go on the road and it's just like everything falls apart. The wheels come off the bus. So I wouldn't want to face Vegas just because Vegas has been there, done that. I feel like they're just underperforming. They're not at the level they should be at. And, that's on the players and the coaching staff to get it right. But the pieces are there for Vegas. They just got to put it all together, right? And sometimes teams figure that out. Better late than never. But I mean, for the Oilers, what pieces are we putting? The pieces are there and they're not very good. So I don't know how far they can go, but they need Draisaitl to be healthy, at least for game 1 of the playoffs, right? I don't think they're going to try to rush him back, especially if they lock up a spot at any point. Then it's just, hey, make sure he's healthy, make sure he's ready to go. You want your 2 best players to be at their most optimal health possible.
And here's the thing, again, because of that playoff format being within the division, there is potential for them to clinch a playoff spot with a handful of games to go where they can rest players and all right, whatever at this point, like you said, don't worry so much about positioning, worrying about getting in, because any team in that division can beat any team in that division. There's no wanting to avoid Colorado or Dallas or Minnesota, which that would be the case in a traditional 1 through 8. Then you would have some of those teams in the Pacific being like, oh no, I want to try and get to 5th because I don't want to deal with one of those 3 in the first round or 6th for that, whatever the case may be. But there we go. So there's Edmonton. Now we got picks coming up in about 20 minutes here. Did want to run through some potential fantasy candidates that might be able to help you down the stretch here as you get ready. Some leagues are in the playoffs. Some leagues are in the final week of the regular season as we get ready for fantasy focus here. And what I want to discuss is just guys that are under 50% owned that can bring something to the table here. First up, I want to start off in LA. They host the Flyers tonight. Is Alex Laferriere. He's got triple position eligibility. Currently the right wing on the Kings' second line. Plays on the top power play unit. He's a cross-category guy, shots on goals, some blocks, has 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 9 games. And he's going to get some decent matchups because all the attention is going to go towards the Kopitar-Panarin line. So he may be able to sneak a few more points and down the stretch, currently 40% owned.
Yeah, the triple position eligibility is where it's at. It gives your roster so much flexibility to be able to move guys in as we get down towards the last few weeks of the season. We're going to see a lot of those, super heavy Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday slates, the off slates, the Monday, the Wednesdays, and Fridays. So you want to be able to move players around, get them in. If we do get some balanced slates, you want to make sure you're fitting in everybody that you can fit in, especially from an offensive side. So I think that's a smart ad here. And the Kings have something to play for, so they got to go out there and do everything they can to keep their hopes and dreams alive.
And because they move him all over the lineup, he's even if he doesn't have the same role, he's going to be in that top 6. So that's one guy. Now we go from Laferriere to Lafreniere. Alexis Lafreniere, 47% owned. And listen, he's cooled off a bit in recent games, but since the Panarin trade, he's lit the lamp 9 times with 7 assists, 3 of those points on the power play. Something Chris has been asking for a long time is more Lafreniere power play time. For better or worse, they're going to see what they have in this guy down the stretch. He's not. There's nobody that's threatening to take his spot out of the top 6 or even for that top line right now. Him and Zibanejad have chemistry. So even if he's just riding his coattails, don't matter for the rest of the year in terms for the fantasy perspective. Points are points.
Well, I mean, listen, we had to wait this long to get him to see regular top power play minutes, and he is delivering. The one thing for Lafreniere as well, his shot volume has started to go up. He's taking more shots. He's at least attempting more of them as well. The ice time is steady. The puck is finding the back of the net, which is always great. But you want players to capitalize on their volume, and that seems to be something that he is doing. So just as somebody who's, I've been betting his shot prop a lot recently, a lot of good matchups, and he's been cashing in on them. Sometimes he was a guy who would get maybe 1, maybe 2 a game. Now we're seeing him sometimes hit the 3, 4 shots a game, which it might not be much, but it's still towards the net, and the opportunity that he's getting to skate on that top line is there. I don't think he is anywhere near the potential that he could be. And I mean, the Rangers need somebody to step up and at least care, because I mean, the rest of that team just seems like they're just mailing it in. They're waiting for golf season, which should be around the corner soon.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, too, is because they're not really playing for anything. Yeah, there may be some uninspired play, but they have enough young guys in that lineup that I think that'll keep everybody going. And Lafreniere knows what he's playing for at this point. He's trying to prove that he's worth the contract. Even with the cap going up, it's still a little pricey there. Now, Marek checking in. Are you guys surprised by some of the guys you have on your teams as we approach the playoffs and vice versa? And who's been a disappointment? Now, we'll do a fantasy disappointment episode because I really like to look and see who really just fell short for me this year. One name I will say off the top of my head, and he's been better lately, coincidentally, with the healthy Jack Hughes, is Jesper Bratt. He is a guy that was very inconsistent, a guy that I took a little bit higher, not a guy I usually took, but I thought, all right, this seems to be a good year for him. The thing that frustrates me about Jesper Bratt the most is he only produces on the nights where it's like, okay, I have so many guys and he sits. When he plays on those off nights, he does nothing. But on the nights you bench him because those are the nights he scored. That's been one of my more frustrating guys this year.
I drafted Elias Pettersson. So I mean, I don't have to really sum that up in any way, shape, or form. It has not been great. I will say this: from one of the surprises has been the production out of Morgan Geekie, and
Yes.
in this league, the one that we did, the Total Hockey Now one as well. I was thrusted into a position where I felt like I had to take Pasternak, and I mean that's worked out pretty well. I don't think anybody is disappointed. That wasn't the guy I had on the list, but it has worked out well. But Morgan Geekie, you could get him outside of the top 100 without having to break a sweat, and he has triple position eligibility, which is something that I was definitely looking for, and that has worked out phenomenally, right? The shot volume kind of isn't there, but he's burying it. So if you're not going to take a lot of shots, but you find the back of the net, I mean, you know what I mean? Do so. The second one that's also really worked out, and I knew it would be good. I didn't think it would be this good though. Is Macklin Celebrini. Like I knew that he was going to be okay. You could probably get him like second round. We saw him sometimes going to third. Like he's probably a top 5 fantasy player next year. Like that's it. Like you had your buy low window of that one time. Yeah, it's over. It's basically like that 1 year where you could get like Makar and Kaprizov in like, on the turn. Those days are gone. And the same thing with being able to get like in this league where I have Pasternak and Celebrini. Like those days are over. They're gone. We'll never see that again. So that's worked out pretty well for me.
I'll say Sergachev on the blue line's been a little bit of a disappointment from a fantasy. Not like, oh my God, he's been terrible, but compared to his ADP, expecting a little bit more from him. But we'll do fantasy disappointments and
no shortage of them.
No shortage of those once we get out of the fantasy playoffs. Another guy I wanted to mention here, I got a few more to go. Charlie Coyle, center right wing eligibility here. Definitely been one of the biggest benefactors since Rick Bonus's arrival behind the bench since January 24th. 7 goals, 18 assists, 6 power play points. He wins faceoffs. He shoots the puck. In that same stretch, he's been held without a point only 4 times. So, yes, he's currently centering the third line in Columbus, but top power play and penalty kill units. Sometimes having those top, I'd rather have a third line guy that plays top power play than a second line guy that plays second power play. So, and right wing, not always a really deep position. Coyle was a guy I had in our league and then dropped him, and then Ant's brother picked him up, finishes first place. I'm sure that was a little bit of a help to him down the stretch. He officially beat the doors off me to keep me out of the playoffs by a single point this year. The 2 leagues I missed the playoffs in this year, I missed by a point in both, by the way. I made it every other league.
Damn, so close yet so far. Listen, Rick Bowness has definitely helped a lot of the Columbus Blue Jacket players, offensively, defensively as well. The goaltending has been a lot better as well. If you were like someone like me who took a kind of a flyer on Jet Greaves, it's worked out ish. I don't think it's to the level that I was hoping it would be, but it's not poor. It's just not great. It's exactly what I bought kind of thing, and that's okay.
I think what hurts the value there is that Bonus, for some reason, has this thing about playing Merzlikins. So I don't know if maybe he's trying to keep Greaves fresh for a potential playoff run, but if he played Greaves the way he should, with the frequency he should be played, I think those numbers are better. But I agree. I have him as my goalie too in a lot of leagues, and he's not a disappointment at all.
And sometimes Merzlikins he's played better with Bonus there because the attention to the defensive zone is there now. So again, I mean, Merzlikins was terrible. So, he's gone up, but there was nowhere else to go but up. So that's worked out decent. But yes, there are a lot of Blue Jackets that could get any type of fantasy consideration here. They still have something to play for as well. So even guys like Connor Garland, Mason Marchment, these are all guys who, if they're hanging around, the Jackets are going with a goal scoring by committee. They don't have a ton of guys offensively that are, there's no David Pastrnak, I would say, on that team. It is a committee by going forward. Yes, they have Werenski, but I mean, he's in a position on his own. He can't do it all by himself. So Charlie Coyle, definitely a very good add down the stretcher.
Another guy we want to talk about also battling for playoff positioning with those Blue Jackets are the Boston Bruins. Give me Pavel Zacha, left wing and center eligibility, 38% owned. He's on the second line and on the top power play unit. He's a big face-off guy. 7 goals and 5 assists since the Olympic break of course 11 games, so he's averaging a point per game. He does shoot the puck. He'll occasionally deliver more hits than you would expect out of him. He'll have that random 4 or 5 hit game. So if you get one of those in a week, that could swing you a little bit. And he's consistently been the second line center for the bulk of the season, so I don't worry about him losing his spot. Maybe Elias Lindholm, because now they're giving Fraser Mitten the chance on the top spot, it looks like. So I think Zacha's kind of locked in on that second line there. If you need face-offs with a mix of other offense, do worse.
No, everything you said is correct there. I cannot add one more thing to it. He's just a good add at this point.
Now, some other forwards that you could consider adding at this point: Anthony Mantha, 43% owned, and that's a perfect example of a guy that's currently on their third line, but getting those top power play units. Now that Crosby's back in the lineup, he might even be able to get some more coattail points. Bobby McMahon, 40% owned, left wing, right wing eligibility. Maybe this is just new team, buzz, and it'll settle down. But right now, what is he's got? He's 35% owned. He's got like I'm looking for my stats here. I don't have them written down. I apologize. Second power play unit, fits in the lineup well there. Top line, Owen Tippett, 35% owned. With the Flyers, what hurts me with Tippett is that the Flyers in general are kind of not a high scoring team. They're not a good offensive team, but Tippett's the guy that's been scoring consistently for them. And then finally, among the forwards, Frank Nazar with the Blackhawks, 19% owned. Second line center there. Gets the top line power play minutes with Bedard. And, Chicago's not playing for anything down the stretch. So, I don't know how much defense you're going to see. They're going to push the puck, and he's provided a spark in that line.
Bobby McMahon has 6 points in the 3 games since joining Seattle. He has 10 shots on goal, right? Of those 10 shots, 40% have found the back of the net, and 8 hits. It's not, listen, he's probably going to cool down at some point, or maybe he's just really happy to be out of Toronto. The 2 things can be true at the same time here. But that is definitely a good add. He is shot up 21% ownership on Yahoo in the last 24 hours. So there's still a window if you want to grab him. It's now though, because if not, we're cooked.
And they're not going to make quick changes. They're like, they've plugged him in on the top line. It's working. They're going to ride that for a little while. They're not going to be like, if he has a bad game tonight against Nashville, I don't think it's going to be like, oh, they're going to see what they got there. Seattle has, this is a key game. We'll talk about it later. Seattle Kraken, like, I almost feel like the loser's kind of like, bye-bye. You're out of the mix for the wild card spot. But those are some forwards to consider. I do have one defenseman and one goalie. Tony DeAngelo. Yes, that Tony DeAngelo. Listen, Matthew Schaefer is everything for that Islanders blue line. But DeAngelo's the only other guy capable of moving the puck. So he's on the second power play unit. He's had a point in all but 3 games since February 26th. He shoots the puck a fair amount. He gets you blocks. He's playing around 20 minutes a night and only 13% ownership. So, yes, like he's not going to get you hits, but if you need a defenseman to do other things, you could take a flyer on him on the right matchups, and I think that'll be okay. Yes, it's all Schaefer. DeAngelo's the only other guy that's going to be driving offense from the line for them.
Listen, he's there, and I mean, I don't know how much Patrick Wall wants to keep running Schaefer out there 28 minutes a night, but I mean, somebody's got to, like, somebody else has to play at some point, and it seems like DeAngelo is getting the look. So if he can help you with some of those secondary categories, then, take him. He's not going to win you a championship, but he most certainly won't hurt your chances. So that's what you're looking for here.
I mean, yes, Schaefer's young, and you can, from a conditioning standpoint, probably play him that much, but it's also stakes are going to start to get a little higher, and he certainly seems like a guy that can handle it. But sometimes, and yeah, you want to mold people in certain situations, be like, here's your chance to grow, here's your chance to handle stuff, and he's going to do that. But you need to have somebody else too, and DeAngelo's that guy for the Islanders. Now, last guy I want to talk about is Alex Nedeljkovic, 10% owned. Yes, Askarov is hurt right now. Don't know when he's going to be back. I mean, he might even dress in one of the next couple of games as he returns. I'm actually going to Sharks Flyers on Saturday afternoon, so maybe he'll be back by then. And yeah, it's tough to get a goalie at this stage of the season, but Nedeljkovic could help you in the coming week here with Askarov banged up. He's also been Askarov has been susceptible to some not so great performances over the last maybe month or so. And yeah, that's probably because of a porous blue line that doesn't always play the best defense. But Nedeljkovic, as we talked about before, has experience playing behind bad teams. So he knows how to handle a blue line that might be more of a sieve than anything else, depending upon the pairing that's out there. So 901 save percentage. One thing that I will also say that's been surprising this year, to go back to Marek, is the amount of goalies that are sub 900 save percentages. And they're still starters in this league. I feel like that overall bar has come down. They're not going to rush Askarov back. Laurent Brossoit is not a threat to really do anything there. Nedeljkovic has been kind of a calming presence for them. So I can see Warsofsky laying it closer to a 50-50 down the stretch. It's not a bad handcuff to have, Nedeljkovic and Askarov, if you need something for the playoffs.
Good spot starts, right? Maybe you're not rolling him out there every time he plays.
Tonight's not a night I would start him against Buffalo.
Nope. But definitely not. But, that game against Philadelphia seems like a, perfect game for him to, be starting in a lineup. Philadelphia doesn't really do anything. They don't shoot the puck. They defend pretty well, but they give up. They also
game in 4 nights for them too.
There you go. See, lots of good stuff here, so you can win your league.
Now, why don't we give a little update to the Fantasy Hockey League here, Connor, for this league, as we are in the first round here. Let's go, first of all, the buys this week went to Frank and our buddy Lance Goodthrust. The first round matchup, we got Gene, who eliminated me and kept me out by a point, and Ant going at it here. Tied at 5 at this point, and then Chris, who's in the playoffs, and Wally Geist, the ever fierce and reliable Wally Geist in terms of fantasy hockey. So we got 2 really tough first round matchups here.
I feel like I was the Dallas Stars, and my reward was getting the Minnesota Wild. Wally's just out here just slamming me in a lot of important categories. The goaltending for him has been really good. Goaltending has been that spot that's let me down. Stuart Skinner gave up like 5 yesterday, and then it was earlier this week where both Colorado goalies decided to combine to give up 7. So I started one and that didn't work out. And then thank God I didn't start the other one because that would have been just as bad. So I need some weekend miracles here on the back end, or I need the offense to really start pounding away here. I'm nowhere near the face-off category, which makes sense, but it's still close. But my reward for being good this year, I finished third. So unfortunately, I didn't get a bye in that first week. And, that's my fault. That's a me issue. I should have been able to take care of that. But he's off to a good start.
And he's got 8 games in hand on you, so you're going to have to get some creative with your air drops. I would say if it's me, I'm attacking shots on goal and blocks. I'm trying to get those 2 cacategories as much as possible. And then
I have enough guys in the lineup.
And then after that,
I have enough guys in the lineup to do so. I mean, I'm not short on guys who can shoot the puck. The problem is poor timing. Sam Reinhart's hurt, so that's unfortunate there. And then it's just trying to pencil in the rest. My blue line hasn't. I mean, it was a weak spot all year. Didn't I just kind of left it the way it is. Didn't really address it too much. But I'm just trying to. I need my key players who love to shoot the puck to do so. I need a couple of assists here, like just from one person, please. Can somebody? It's great that they can find the back of the net, but can we get one assist from somebody? Anybody?
Dylan Cousins not under 50%, but he's a guy that kind of lurks on the free agent wire there, and he gets you hits, he gets you face-offs. He's a decent depth addition. I mean, he's got a well-rounded team. So
he does. So Wally, I need you to slow down, please.
Now, on the other one here, we got Gene is off into the races with goals. That's probably a done deal. That's assists are close, power play points close, shots on goal. He's got face-offs. Ant can make up some ground here. Goals and blocks, and if you're watching, just forget about those categories. Don't even try on them. This is going to come down to goaltending. No, this is going to sway this. So, yeah.
Just how I like it. A good goaltending battle there. I mean, listen, Gene with a team that's out here scoring goals. What? That's seems to be exactly how it should be going. But maybe we'll see if Ant can get something good out of Dustin Wolf and Vladar. So far, it's been decent, but I think there's a little bit more that can be added there.
And then finally, we'll just take a quick look at the 2 teams that have a bye. I have a bye, but it's for the bracket. We'll talk about Ant's team. We'll talk about Frank's team here for a minute. Obviously, when you have Connor McDavid, that's all get you going. Natchez, Caulfield, Dylan Holloway, who he's had a nice little since he's back from injury. He's been playing well. He was very shaky before that. Decent blue line, certainly benefiting from the Lafreniere, Boone, also Charlie Coyle, Kiefer Sherwood. He's a guy that's 53% owned. Gets you hits. Forechecks like a beast. He's very enjoyable to watch. Like that has been a nice addition for the Sharks. And Frank's got just basically the New York goalie combo here, and he's riding that. Looking at the other team with the bye here, let's go over to our buddy Lance Goodthrust. And Jack Hughes when he's healthy, Panarin, Zibanejad. He's got Owen Tippett, who we talked about before, Gabe Perreault, Lucas Raymond. Yeah, there's a good teams waiting once this week is over.
Listen, some people just, they hung around every single mock draft we did. And then they kept asking questions, taking notes. And some of them, they got a bye in the first round. I'm just saying, the knowledge is good. It's just a shame that I couldn't use it to my own advantage.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's how the draft goes, and we don't always get the guys we want, or the draft. Well, with your blue line, but we've talked plenty of fantasy hockey here. Now it's time to get down the brass tacks. One of our favorite things to do is run the board on a Thursday night. That's right, folks. We're going through the board. 11 games to get through here tonight. Not our best week last week, but that's okay. We've had a lot of good weeks. We're allowed a not so good week. Last week was definitely a little wonky, but I'm feeling a lot better tonight. I think I've got 7 picks that I have made here from the 11 games here. So try our best here. We do our best. First up, we've got the New York Rangers at the Columbus Blue Jackets. This one's going to be Igor Shesterkin versus Jet Greaves. Blue Jackets minus 218 on the money line. Rangers heavy dogs plus 180. Total is 6.5 here. way I'm going to go on this is I'm going to take the Rangers puck line plus a puck and a half minus 135 at DK. They've dropped 2 in a row after winning 4 in a row, but I'll take the Rangers here with getting that puck and a half with Igor and net. That gives me a little more confidence there. Both of their meetings have been 1-goal differentials with them splitting both. Rangers have won 3 in a row on the road. This is a 1-game road trip after dropping 2 games at home. So sometimes getting out there for a quick one little game stop is the right medicine. Columbus needs points, so I'm not bold enough to go Rangers money line here, but I think they keep it close enough that we get that puck line play.
No, I watched because I'm a degenerate. I watched the Rangers and Devils play, and listen, the Devils are a better team when Jack Hughes is in it. But the only reason that game was close is because Jacob Markstrom just refuses to stop the puck, and Jonathan Quick was standing on his head, and they still lost 6-3. Like if he didn't go out there and perform a miracle on ice, this game could have been 9 or like 10-3. So I'm taking the Jackets in regulation. They have so much to play for. The Jackets have been, again, for all the reasons we stated earlier, a much improved team under Rick Bowness. The Rangers just don't care. I get that they're better on the road, but that doesn't mean anything really. I mean, they're just the want and care from this team is just not there. So I feel like the minute they fall behind, the wheels on the bus are going to come off. I do expect Igor to keep it close. So I don't think it's going to be an absolute train wreck. But if there's a little bit of a crack in the armor there, the Jackets are going to run away with this. So I'm going to take the Jackets in regulation. That should probably settle over well.
Jackets minus 135 in regulation there. So we both got minus 135 plays. Just we'll see who hits. Actually, it's possible for us to both hit our plays there.
Possible we go separate ways and we still hit. You know what I mean?
There we go. Just like a journey song. Next up, we got Marek checking in. I guess Chris feels bad for Boston. The Habs the other night.
Good for them. Bruins are frauds.
Bruins get a chance to bounce back tonight here. David Pastrnak has 498 career assists, so you could see him break that 500 barrier tonight here. It's going to be Connor Hellebuck versus Jeremy Swayman. Looking on the money line here for the Bruins, minus 142 home favorites, Winnipeg plus 120 road dogs, totals 5.5 here. For me, I'm going to take the Bruins to win in regulation plus 120. You can find some minus 140 money lines, but I'm going to go to the next step here. Bruins are 22 and 13 against the spread at home. Jets are 14 and 17 against the spread on the road. They're also the second worst road team overall. Boston tied for the best home record in the league. Hellebuck makes me back off the puck line here, so let's get some extra juice here with the value with the regulation victory. Since the money line I think is a little too far out the door for me there, so I'll take the Bruins to take care of business in 3 periods.
I'm going to go with the under here. Listen, Connor Hellebuck has done his part. It's a shame the rest of his team can't figure it out, but he's an above-average goalie on a team that struggles to score goals. The Bruins can put the puck in the net, but that's not something they lead the league in, let's say. And Jeremy Swayman has played well. The Bruins are a heavily penalized team, but the Jets' power play isn't, it's nothing that really scares me. So I think this could be a closer matchup. This has like 2-2 written all over it. And then unfortunately it's going to end in a shootout. But I would take the under here, under 6. If it does get to 6, then we get a push, no harm, no foul done. But relatively low scoring event is what I'm predicting.
I'll take like a Bruins 3-1 victory here in regulation and everybody wins here. That's another way we can both hit.
True.
We root for each other except when we root against each other. Next up on the docket here as we stay here in the Northeast, we got the New York Islanders making their way up to Ottawa, another 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Matthew Schaefer with 49 points could become the 7th youngest player in NHL history to hit the 50-point plateau. Just to put an exclamation point on everything we were saying about him earlier. It's going to be Ilya Sorokin versus James Reimer. Looking on the money line here. Ottawa favored at home, minus 125. Isles plus 105, road dogs, totals 5.5 here. Listen, that money line has come down since I made this play because I got the Islanders at plus 114. They are the 4th best road team in the league. Ottawa's 8th worst at home. Sens have gotten some of their wins lately against some leaky opponents. The Islanders are not leaky. especially with Sorokin and net. They've taken 4 or 5 overall here. I'll take Sorokin over Reimer on a money line with plus money.
Yeah, bring me right with you. Sorokin has the best goal saved above expected, and it's night and day. Actually, the Islanders have the best goal saved above expected, and I believe the Ottawa Senators have the worst. So it's polar opposites between this team. I think the Senators are probably a better overall team. They're good at suppressing shots. They're good at generating shots. They're a better team on home ice, but the goaltending is just not there. And I have no confidence in James Reimer, like zero. And if you're asking me if I got to pick between him and Sorokin, listen, that's an easy one. I think Sorokin can do enough. If the Islanders get a couple of goals in, yes, the Sens will push, but it's not good. It's not good enough from the Sens, from their goaltending. That's what's going to let them down this year, unfortunately. So give me the Islanders there. We can root for the same team.
The Islanders plus 112 on the money line still at FanDuel. So it's come down to most places. You get a tiny bit of extra value there. Next up on the docket, we got a little original 6 matchup here. The Montreal Canadiens at the Detroit Red Wings. Going to be Jakub Dobeš against John Gibson here. Looking on the money line. The Canadiens actually slight road favorites at minus 115. Red Wings home dogs minus 105 according to DraftKings. Total 6.5 here. This is one of the 4 stay away games for me today. This is one that I would like. That's enjoyable. Very key playoff positioning matchup here in the Atlantic, wild card in the East. But I've got no lean here. I think this is like a 4-2 game, so that makes me stay away from the total.
I can't go with the under just because John Gibson at home is an absolute flaming pile of terrible. And for all the wins that Jakub Dobeš just picked up, the save percentage is not there yet. Like, he's still sometimes giving up too many goals for my liking. The Montreal Canadiens are also the second highest scoring team. I didn't know that. They're electric on the road. I knew that. And then someone's like, hey, they're just the second best scoring team. And I was like, in the East? And they're like, no, overall. And then I double checked the math, and the math checks out. There's the Colorado Avalanche, a significant gap, and then the Montreal Canadiens. And I was like, man, we've come a long way in this, this era of hockey. Because I remember the Montreal Canadiens a few years ago couldn't buy a goal, even if they wanted to. All that to say, I will take the Montreal Canadiens money line. I think 115 is kind of just saying, hey, it's basically a split. Dylan Larkin is not going to play. He was at practice. He was skating. We'll see if Andrew Copp gets in. But this is a close game. It's meaningful for both teams. I like the way the Canadiens battled back against the Bruins. They are the team that has the most come from behind wins in the third period. So even if they're trailing, it can never be over. At worst, I'm taking a gamble on. I mean, this game is going to overtime. Like 30% of Montreal Canadian games go to overtime, so it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. It's basically coming down to will Cole Caulfield score in overtime, and that's a bet I'll take every time. So I think this game. Listen, best now. I had them all lined up. Some people are like, best 40 goals scored and never score 40. And it's like how the turntables have turned. So I think this is probably a good game that goes back and forth. I'm just not ready to commit to the under in case one goalie decides he doesn't want to participate, but I will take the Montreal Canadiens money line there. I think it's more than fair.
Made the point about Gibson at home. If this game was in Montreal, I'd go under 6.5 if it was in Montreal with Gibson
100%.
starting.
100%. I don't know what Gibson hates about Little Caesars Arena, man, but it's okay.
Maybe it's because Little Caesars pizza sucks. Just being
I can't. I don't have any here, so I can't even tell you if it's terrible.
Listen, I understand I'm a Brooklyn pizza snob. My mother's side's Italian, all that stuff. I remember when I started dating my wife, and she's like, I think Little Caesars pizza is really good. That was a moment. That was a gut check moment.
That's when you checked her. You were like, hey, listen.
We gotta let's change your definition of good pizza. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's good. At Costco, that does apply. Costco pizza.
No. It's fantastic.
You can feed a family for
you can feed a whole family with a Costco pizza for $9. They're like, here, do you want a dollar hot dog as well while you're here? You're like, you know what? Make it around 10. Why not? Just sure.
Costco pizza.
I don't want to break a 10 really. So just add it here. Make it easy.
the official pizza of most, pizza lunches that people get for people. It's not your local chain. I know they got different ones in Canada here, but nonetheless, plenty of hockey too. I haven't had pizza in a while. I'm gonna have to change that. I got 2 places in town that are very close. Anyway, Blackhawks at Wild. Early 7:30 Eastern puck drop, 6:30 local for the Wild there. Looking at the goalie matchups for this one, it's going to be Jesper Wallstedt. Let's refresh again. It doesn't have a confirmed goalie for the Blackhawks, so we can, I guess, assume it's going to be Spencer Knight, but nothing confirmed there yet. Quinn Hughes, 40 assists in 37 games for the Minnesota Wild so far. Looks like they're getting a nice return for their trade there. Wild minus 225 home favorites, plus 185 road dogs for the Hawks. Total is 6.5 here. I'm going to go with another puck line play on the opposite side. I'm taking Chicago plus a puck and a half, minus 135. All 3 of their losses to the Wild this season have been by 1 goal. So sometimes you have these matchups, like we all know Minnesota is a far better team against Chicago. Just match up well. They know whatever the case may be. They've managed to keep it close in all 3 meetings this year. Chicago is 42-25 against the spread. Minnesota 34-35 against the spread. So also a back-to-back here for home and home. So I get stranger things could happen. So my total opposite play, I'm not touching here. But give me the Blackhawks puck and a half.
I was looking at that because they played each other. They've played each other a bunch. All 3 games have gone to extra time, and they've all been 7 total. So that kind of like scares me. I originally was looking at this and I was trying to get behind believing in the Blackhawks on the road. I know they did it once, but that doesn't mean they can do it twice. I can't get behind the Wild right now. It just seems like a little bit of a struggle for them. Joel Eriksson not in the lineup. That kind of hurts them. I just stayed away from this completely. I wasn't gonna put my hand in the cookie jar and get it bit off because I want to believe that the Wild could cover the puck line. But I've also said that I think the other 3 times that I bet on that game and it didn't work out. So not doing it again.
Wild are 4-4-2 over their last 10. So
which is average, which is not good enough. I think they're 6 points back now of Dallas and for second spot. So they could be the 3rd place team that, they don't get home ice advantage in the playoffs.
If the gap gets large enough though, then they could probably rest players down the stretch too. Like, maybe that Thursday, April 9th game against Dallas, you want to, you don't want to reveal too much of your hand. So maybe you bring what I mean, like that, you start playing those kind of games once points go away there. So you're saying no play on this one? We're staying away?
I got nothing.
All right.
I'll burn my money elsewhere. We got other games to burn.
Now, I have a feeling this might be a double play here. We got the Kraken at the Predators now into the 8:00 Eastern window. Looking at the goaltenders here, nothing confirmed yet, but probably Decord versus Saros. This is the beginning of a 6-game road trip for the Kraken. This is actually, you look at the playoffs with that second wild card spot in the West. I mean, it's too early to say the loser's done, but whoever wins is going to be in a lot better position than whoever loses here. So this is an important game for both teams. That would make me lean towards the under here. If you want to make a play, it's, Nationals minus 135, favorites on the money line, Kraken plus 114, road dogs. Total's 5.5. If you go under plus 114 at DraftKings, that would be my play here, but I'm staying away.
Listen, I don't want it. And the good news is I won't have to watch this game because the NHL can stagger and start a game at 7:30. So I get to watch that one and then skip right over this one and then go back to watching the Habs and Red Wings without ever having to care about this game. So don't care.
And we'll talk about it later, but the Kings-Flyers game also at 10:30 Eastern puck drop. So because Philly played last night in Anaheim, so they probably have to give him that extra 30 minutes. Probably some sort of like 24-hour window puck drop. I don't know.
That should put me to sleep pretty early, though, because nothing can put you to sleep like watching the Philadelphia Flyers trying to generate offense, especially on the road.
Especially. But talk about that game a little while later. So we got a rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals here. Not the matchup that we thought would be happening in March of the season, but here we are. Excuse me. It's going to be Sergei Bobrovsky versus Connor Ingram. If you're looking to make any money line plays here, Edmonton minus 162 favorites. Florida plus 136 road dogs. Total is 6.5 here. I know it's no Draisaitl, but this is the top over team in the league against the fourth best over team in the league. Florida 2011 to the over when they were away. 23-9-1 Edmonton to the over at home. I think you can see where I'm going here. Their meeting earlier this year was a 9-goal total. Edmonton needs points. The Panthers, not to say this is their most dangerous role, but they get to play spoilers down the stretch. And we all know the guys on that team love to be spoilers, love to be ball breakers, and they would love nothing more than to beat the Edmonton Oilers. They're going to drive. I don't think they know they're going to be able to slow them down. I think we're going to see a lot of special teams, some stupid penalties, retaliation, that kind of dynamic. Give me the over 6.5 minus 120.
Absolutely. Listen, Sam Bennett's going to do something he probably shouldn't. Matthew Tkachuk's going to do something he probably shouldn't. The Panthers are dealing with some significant injuries here. They've been dealing with it all year, but they're still pretty banged up. That's not good for them. Sergei Bobrovsky just can't stop the puck. His goal, his save percentage on the road, I think it's like not 870 something, which is absolutely horrendous. I don't need to paint a picture here about the Oilers and what they need to do if they want to stay in the hunt to get into the playoffs. They got to beat teams like this. It doesn't matter if the game goes to overtime either. The loser point doesn't really affect either team. These are outside of their conference. So I also expect a ton of scoring. Like Connor Ingram is he's thrusted into this position by default because Jerry can't stop a puck. He was claimed off waivers, and now all of a sudden they're like, hey, can you help? Please do everything possible. I do expect the power play to be a big part of it. Once the Oilers get on the power play, good things happen. They can generate it. This is a game, again, same thing. I expect Connor McDavid to have to take over. He's going to carry this team as much as he can. Everybody else just kind of get on board and let's see where they can go. But I expect the Oilers to be trailing at some point, which means they're going to be trying to pound the net. I don't see Bobrovsky being able to stand up and make a difference. So I'm right there with you too. The over, and I don't even think we have to wait till the third to start for the over to hit in this game. We could see a very hectic first period that leads into an even more hectic second.
I'll say this: there's not a lot on the line in terms of significance for at least Florida, but that'll be a fun game to watch at 9:00 Eastern. I mean, there's other things, but that'll be a good flip back game if you want to see some up and down action. That's the only in the 9:00 one. We have 4 games 10:00 Eastern or beyond tonight. Doesn't happen a lot. So people like me on the West Coast and my Thursday night beer league, we don't play this week. We're off this week, so I actually can enjoy the full slate and not watch till whatever time and then leave. We got a little lightning at Canucks tonight, 10:00 Eastern. Looking at the goaltending matchups here, it's looking like it's going to be Kevin Lankinen for the Canucks. Nothing confirmed there for the Lightning, but let's say it's Vasilevsky. I mean, maybe this is a spot for. They got the back-to-back coming up this weekend, so I think you would go Vasilevsky tonight, and then you'd split the 2 weekend starts. You'd give Vasilevsky the start against Edmonton, and then you'd give Johansson the start against Calgary on Sunday. That would be my play. So we'll assume Vasilevsky. Nonetheless, favorites here. The Lightning are minus 305 road favorites. Canucks plus 245 road dogs. Total 6.5 here. For me, this is a complete Lightning puck line play. I got it minus 118 at DK. After they looked against the way they looked against Seattle the other night, they're 20-14 against the spread on the road this year. 21-9-4 overall against the spread. Vancouver has only covered this number 2 times in all of their losses since the beginning of February. There's a big class difference here. Vancouver, a league worst, 8-21-5 at home. So this is a good tee-off spot for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the Canucks just hate playing in front of their own fans. They just don't care. Kevin Lankinen is not good. As a whole, the Canucks are not good. I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to take the Lightning minus 2.5 because I think this could end up being an absolute pounding of the Canucks. I don't think the Lightning are going to take it easy on them. They can't. Kucherov had 5 points against the Kraken, who are a decent team. Decent. They're not anything elite, but there's a chance they make the playoffs. And now he's going to stroll in here to Vancouver, step on the ice with nobody who can really contain him, with a team that can't contain him. I mean, this could be another one of those generational nights. So I need him to do his spot, and I need Vasilevsky to make 17, 18 saves, and then just pack your bags and get out of Vancouver. You don't need to stay there. Just pit stop quick, smash your opponent into the ground, and move on.
Go to Edmonton, be ready for the Saturday night game against the Oilers, and then Calgary on Sunday.
That's my only fear, is that they look right past this game and go, hey, we got to look at, the Edmonton Oilers, because that game is going to be important. That could be a Stanley Cup final matchup, but I need John Cooper and the gang to just stop here, right? Let's stop on Thursday and then, beat the Canucks and then worry about Saturday.
See, I think the opposite could happen. I think they take care of business tonight. They know they got the second half of the Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader. I think maybe Calgary on Sunday is where the letdown is. If you told me, where does Tampa Bay have a letdown, in Vancouver or Calgary, I would say more likely Calgary than Vancouver.
Listen, I need them to do whatever they need to do tonight, and if they want to lose both games over the weekend, great. Just pound the Canucks into the ground. Nice 6-7-1 pounding, and just move on.
Now, so you taking the -2.5. That's plus 130 over at DraftKings on the alternate puck line there. So there we go. So we stay in the 10 o'clock Eastern window, 7 o'clock Pacific. We got the Mammoth at the Golden Knights. Vegas seeking to avoid being shut out in consecutive games for the first time since the 2022-23 season. Aiden Hill is going to be the guy in the crease for them tonight. Utah, no announcement yet, according to Daily Faceoff, but we can probably assume it's going to be Melka going tonight. This is an important game here. Looking on the money line here for this game, Utah Mammoth are plus 110 road dogs. Vegas -130 home favorites. Totals 5.5. This is a stay away spot for me, but I think this is going to be an excellent game to watch. I think you can see Utah's got some momentum coming off that Monday night beating of the Dallas Stars. While I was waiting to walk in for the concert, I didn't care about the opener when I went to see Nine Inch Nails on Monday night in Sacramento. I was actually standing outside of my car watching Dallas, Utah to kill time. So I got to watch them. They were impressive, Dallas. So that being said, Vegas, you never know when they're going to show up. So I'm just going to stay away. But this one is one I will flip back and forth to with the Sharks game and that one.
I think there's enough here for Utah to care. The real concern here with Vegas is that team is, again, they're not where they need to be, and the goal scoring drought is a problem, right? You can't have that much skill and not find the back of the net. And Utah is a good defensive team. They're well structured. They've got better since the trade deadline. There's pieces there. If you're going to give me plus money for them, I'll take it. This seems like a good value spot to take a dig at the Mammoth. If they're going to beat Vegas at any point, this would be a good one. So I will take the Mammoth money line there, especially at plus money. Listen. If I see a quarter on the floor, I'm picking it up, and this feels like one of them.
Plus 115 you could get over at Caesars right now.
There you go.
When I go back through, this might be one I add here. Maybe I'll add that one. It gets a little closer to game time. I'll make sure it's for Melka going and not Vanacek. I think that's a sound play there for that game. But I do think this will be a fun one to watch. Also aesthetically pleasing with the color scheme. We do have the last of the 10 o'clock window here. Sabres at Sharks. Celebrini, 1 point shy of tying Joe Thornton for third most in a single season in franchise history. Not rookie, just among all level players. He's almost there. He's also 2 assists away from becoming the 5th teenager in NHL history with 100 points, and he would be the fastest if he gets there soon. So, and here's the thing. Here's my play for tonight. It's going to be Alex Lyon versus Alex Nedeljkovic. So a battle of Alexes here. Looking on the money line here, the Sharks are plus 120 home dogs. Buffalo minus 142 road favorites. Total 6.5. Over 6.5, minus 135 at DK. I got this one earlier. There's zero chance the Sharks think that they're going to beat the Sabres by trying to contain them and keep them at bay. This is going to turn into up and down, putting the puck in the net. Both of these teams are quick. Both of these teams are capable of scoring. So I got over 6.5 here.
Really? I actually have the under.
Wow. Right.
I have the under. 6.5 is a total that is I get what people are looking at, right? The Sharks are coming back from a road trip where it was back and forth. Every single game was high scoring. But they're not a great road team, but they play better at home. The Sabres, though, to me, this isn't a 6-1 beating. I think this is a little bit closer. And the Sabres have played very well defensively. Yes, they can pound their opponent into the ground by scoring goals, but they also play really, really well defensively. Lindy Ruff has that whole team kind of like moving and everybody's playing tight. So I can see this as exploding, right? And for me, on one side, it's the Sharks. Yes, it's celebrating, but that supporting cast is not there yet. It's not where it needs to be. You want to take Celebrini out of the picture. Let somebody else beat you if it comes down to that. I think the Sabres are going to want to play a much tighter game, the same way they played. I forget who they played, but their last 3 games have been really, really low scoring events. So I think there's a possibility here that they can keep this close. I was waiting to see if anywhere would bite and push this total to 7, and they haven't. So I'll swallow the under 6.5, just because I think everybody thinks this is going to be a shootout back and forth, and teams are going to want to gun each other. The Sabres don't have to go down that path. They can easily beat the Sharks like 3 or 4-1. Right? If they play well. Lyon as well. His numbers have been great on the road as at home. His overall metrics have been great. So it's not really a downgrade either on whoever is starting in net. I just think this has the potential to be under. I don't think minus 135 on the over 6.5 is basically saying, hey, we're seeing 9-10 goals. And I just not there yet. I don't think that's going to happen.
To your point, their last 3 games, they beat Vegas 2-0, beat Toronto 3-2 in a shootout, lose to the Capitals 2-1. So before that, they were putting the pucks at 6-3 against the Sharks last week. Yeah. I mean, this should fall under my opposite rule. So I don't know. I will say this, Ryan Warsofsky, I won't go as far as saying called out Will Smith, but they both talked about it, how they need more from Will Smith. What else can he bring when he's not scoring? Because he hasn't really been contributing there. So we'll see if maybe he ups his game a little bit, or if he gets back to his offensive ways here. I know they've been shaking up the lines a little bit there too at San Jose to get things going. Like you said, first game home from a road trip for them. I'm excited to be going on Saturday. That's probably going to be more of an underplay against the Flyers on Saturday. I do have SJ Sharkey coming by the seats. So that'll be nice. Looking forward to that game on Friday. Go to a little In-N-Out for dinner after that. Nice daddy-daughter date, and for Saturday at Sharks.
Good for you.
Very excited. So there you go, Sabre Sharks. Last game on the docket. A rare 10:30 Eastern puck drop. I love this because I start to get sleepy around 9:45 Pacific, which is a little before 1 a.m. your time. But if there's a 10:30 game on, I can stretch that out to like 10:15, and I'll stay up for the end of that. There's not a lot of that anymore. So I'll try and take advantage tonight. It's going to be Samuel Ersson versus Darcy Kemper. Philly on a 4-game point streak, 3-0-1. Only allowing an average of 1.5 goals against in that span. Artemi Panarin's got 13 points in 11 games for the Kings. Looking on the money line here, the Kings are minus 180 home favorites. Flyers plus 150 road dogs, coming off a back-to-back, beating Anaheim last night in overtime 3-2. No play here for me. I would lean Kings to win in regulation at even money. Fading Samuel Ersson here because the Flyers are actually a pretty decent team on the road, and they play teams tough on the road. Again, I think the Kings win, but I'm staying away.
I want nothing to do with this. Just like it tells you everything you need to know that they're minus 180 on the money line, and then you can get them at even money in regulation. So clearly the books think that this game is going to overtime once you get there. I mean, the Zegras shootout goal is just like it's bound to happen, but there's so many things that need to happen before that. I don't want to take the Flyers money line straight up.
Back-to-back.
Especially on a back-to-back, especially with Samuel Ersson and net. I do not believe he is the guy. If this was Vladar, maybe we'd be having a different conversation. But the Flyers in general are just, they're good defensively. They don't generate much offense. They're just not fun to watch. So I'm glad Gary's gifting me that at 10:30 at night. Maybe I'll already be passed out and won't have to subject myself to that.
Depends how exciting the Detroit-Montreal game is, how long it takes you to come down from that one. Then looking at the Friday slate here just quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on Friday. You got the Carolina Hurricanes and the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Devils and the Capitals, Colorado's and Chicago, Florida's and Calgary. They're on Alberta back-to-back. And then you got the Ducks and the Mammoth on a back-to-back after playing in Vegas tonight. They'll be home for the Ducks tomorrow night. So there you go. Tonight's game slate, 11 games. We'll go backwards through all the picks here. Flyers, Kings, no official plays. We are opposite on Sabres Sharks. I got the over 6.5 minus 135. Chris under 6.5 plus 114. Mammoth at Golden Knights. Chris is going to take the Mammoth on the money line. I lean Mammoth money line, but I'm not going to make the play. Lightning Canucks. I've got the Lightning minus a puck and a half, minus 118. Chris is going as far as minus 2.5 at plus 130 on the alt puck line there. Panthers Oilers. We're both on the over 6.5 at minus 120. Expect a lot of special teams in that one. We are both not doing anything in Kraken Predators. That one, don't put that one on if you don't want to fall asleep. Then in Blackhawks Wild, they'll play for you. I'm taking Chicago plus a puck and a half, minus 135. Canadians Red Wings, I have no play, but you're going to take the Montreal Canadiens on the money line, minus 115. Islanders Senators, we are both on the Islanders money line there. Jets Bruins, I've got the Bruins in regulation at plus 120. Chris is taking the under 5.5 plus 110 in a Hellebuck Swayman matchup. Team USA teammates there. So see if there's a little meeting before the game. And then finally, Rangers Blue Jackets. We are going, not to say opposite, but I've got the Rangers plus a puck and a half, minus 135. You've got the Blue Jackets in regulation, minus 135. So very easily could, both hit that one. But that does it for the pucking preview. Now, anything we got going on the next Slap Shots podcast?
Well, that one dropped yesterday. We took a look at Austin Matthews. He did get surgery today. He's done for 12 weeks. More around the conversation of Radko Gudas. Connor McDavid came out, said maybe the process needs to change. I gave you some ideas as to why it probably should change. Let the, get rid of George Parros and the boys there and, have another idea come in. Also, again, Leon Draisaitl got hurt. So I gave one recommendation on a player that you should add, and we did not mention him today. So you might have to watch it because it's there. So, lots of good stuff. Make sure you go over, drop a like, listen to it, leave a negative or positive review. Both are good.
Either or. To be fair, we had gone a while without a Radko Gudas incident. It was almost like we were overdue.
Listen, it was 7 years since Radko Gudas has committed a crime. He went on a crime spree for like 3-4 years. And then he changed his ways.
Anaheim settles you down.
He changed his ways and, things got better. Maybe, the aging, the little gray in the beard calmed him down, but, old habits die hard. So, and unfortunately, Austin Matthews' knee is the recipient of it.
But he'll be back for the second round of the playoffs. Also, catch his work at fantasyalarm.com/NHL. Our bud at Rivera86 back with us in a few weeks. Got Subway to Shea podcast for Mets. It's back to being all Mets now. It's not World Baseball Classic anymore. And then at Rip and Riff, myself and Mr. Jared Moore, we should be back with you on Monday. What we do best, ripping cards, talking hockey, and some NFL draft.
I got them all here. I collected all 7 of the McDonald's mini sticks. I got 6 out of 7 organically. I made one trade, Austin Matthews for Sam Reinhart. That deal was 1-for-1. Really nice kid. I don't even think he was old enough to vote yet, but he was really, his face lit up when he saw Austin Matthews. I lit up when I saw Sam Reinhart. On my way home, I decided to stop at McDonald's. I picked up 2 extra ones. I got an extra Quinn Hughes, and then I pulled the Cale Makar, and I jumped in my living room, and I terrorized my dog, Milo. Milo was scared because he thought he did something, and I was like, no, this is a fantastic day. And then I sent you the picture in the group chat. So I got them all. Listen, I got all the Pokemon right here. Hard work pays off.
Now, are they stacked, or is those 3 that you picked to put up there?
I just put them all I just put them all somewhere safe. I don't want to leave them on the table downstairs in case Milo decided he wanted to have a stick for breakfast. So I got them all there. I'm going to try to maybe set them up nicely somewhere here, but I got them all. Quantities are starting to run out. Some people are trying to scalp them, which that's how, if you want to know what hockey's like in Canada, people are trying to sell these miniature figurines that you can buy for $4 for $25. So I'm glad I got them all. I can stop eating an industrial amount of McDonald's now. I gained 2.3 pounds since it started. So maybe I got to open one of those Gary Roberts tapes for the next week. See if that can get me back in shape.
All right. So McDonald's, you did the promotion with the sticks. Now, Burger King, let's do something with the goalie masks here, or Wendy's, or somebody. Just do the promotion in the United States. I understand hockey's not as popular down here. All right, fine. Do like a football equivalent. We do like cool football helmets. I don't know, something. Just give me something. I'll eat the junkie. Give me the right reason.
Listen, my bank account is going to be happy though, which is not that bad though. I got free coffee for like what feels like forever now using the McDonald's app. So at least I benefited from something.
Yeah, Milo a beneficiary.
Of course, Milo. Listen, Milo loves the French word for French fry is patate frite, and when I say it, he immediately knows exactly what's coming. So when he used to see me with the McDonald's bag coming in, he's like, "Oh, there's something here for me." So yes, I did give him a fry. I gotta watch out for the nuggets though. If you leave those on a table unattended, he is committed the crime of leaving with a nugget. So, but yes, he did get a fry out of it, maybe more than one.
See, when I bring home El Pollo Loco, which is a Western United States, California chicken chain, my 18-year-old blind cat, she could still smell. And within seconds of that coming in the door, starts making her way down the stairs like, oh, we got roasted chicken tonight. Yes, we do have roasted chicken. So they're a little too smart sometimes. That does it for this edition of Total Hockey Now here on the Total Hockey Now YouTube channel. We will be back with you next Thursday. Well, what's our slate like next Thursday? Always like that. We're going to 26. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 game slate next week. Go to the show, follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're at Fuzzy Chris 91. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. With you next Thursday, the 26th. 13 games to go through and plenty more to talk about here on Hockey Now.